I'm here to share with all of you 10 years of working with kids. And as you can see, the lecture subject is self-learning in kids education and also how to improve it. And the story starts 20 years ago when Machine, a computer program developed by IBM, Deep Blue, defeated the world champion of chess at that moment, Garcia. Then 20 years later, just a few months ago, in March, a new machine, a computer program called AlphaGo, developed by DeepMind, and defeated the Go world champion or Go best player, professional player in the world, Lee Sedol, by 4-1. But the lecture was about self-learning, so you can ask me what happens with the chess and the Go, why did you talk about that? And it was because at that time when Kasparov lost with IBM Deep Blue, and then I was chess player and I was very fun of what was happening. And also when Lee Sedol 5 months ago lost against DeepMind's AlphaGo, I was very impressed, and I tried to think what was the difference between both. And the difference for me, the most important difference, was that IBM hired very strong chess professionals, grandmasters, and also, for sure, computer programmers to develop a very strong chess machine, but also not only expert in openings and tactics, etc., 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 but also 200 million plays per second. So it was a very, very strong machine. But AlphaGo from DeepMind was a completely different issue. They started from scratch with a computer program that they didn't know anything about Go. Their only expertise was in understanding pixels on a screen. And they presented thousands of games from amateur Go players from internet, and then the computer program started recognizing what was Go about. So, how they develop the game, how you can capture a stone from the opponent, etc., etc., etc. But most important thing was the program was recognizing good patterns, good schemes, the ideas, the strategic ideas, and then instead of preparing for professionals, it confronted these ideas, it confronted all the schemes, everything that it was learning from the amateurs against itself, millions of times. So instead of using something from the outside, it was just something from the inside. So this learning process was what it impressive to me. And at that moment I was thinking how this self-learning was important in our local educational project. So self-learning in kids education. And that's why the reason why I introduced this self-learning concept today. I'm going to share 4 ideas with you. First one is to trust. And trust in what? Kids' potential and their ability to develop this potential. And second, the process. If you don't trust that kids can self-learn, then there is no way it's going to be useful. So, first advice I'm going to tell you is never provide solutions to problems. And now you can ask yourself, Paco is really going mad. Paco is crazy. If a kid is not reaching a solution to a problem, you will have to provide it. But no, what we recommend is not providing solutions to problems, is suggesting hints, suggesting clues for them to reach the solution. Even better than this is creating new questions, questions that can be answered by themselves. So our first recommendation, strong recommendation, is never provide solutions to problems, but suggest hints and also create new questions. And this is the first sample I want to share. You can see 9 dots on a square, and we ask the kids, to connect these 9 dots with just one line or straight segments, not passing twice over any dot. And also not raising the pen from the paper. And with this, we get figures like this ones. So you can see that they connect all the dots, but they use 5 segments, or they pass several times for the same dot over several different dots. So they are not able to solve this because of the square. The square limits their brain, limits the thinking process. And what happens if we present the problem this way? If we present the problem without the square, without the frame limiting, then they start doing lines like this, longer lines, and then we tell, still 4 dots pending to connect, and then they do things like that. They extend the lines, they try to do just one line. We remember you cannot pass twice for the same dot, and then they reach this. Okay, we call this to think outside the box. And this is important because for us to be able for kids to think always outside the box when they are blocked, they don't know how to follow, and then we tell them think out of the box. And thinking out of the box, I will show you 2 examples about this. And it happened something like 4 years ago that I was with a kid and in a class, and we presented this problem, and nobody was able to solve them. And we told them, so we have 1 more week to solve this. So go home, think about, and next week we will see. And this week he came and he told me, Paco, I was not able to solve the problem in a proper way, but I have thought a different way. I think that I can solve the problem with just 1 line. And I thought, let's see what is going on, because always something happen is going to happen, and something funny is going to happen. And he did this, and he started doing this. So he got the 9 dots with just 1 line. And I knew, I mean, everyone can think this is not the solution. But this is so strong, I mean, this is so powerful that I thought, I was so impressed by this guy that next week I was telling all in the schools, oh, look at what happened with this kid, this thought. And then 2 weeks afterwards, a new kid came and told me, Paco, is the size of the dots important for the solution of this problem? And I knew that something tricky is going to come. But I told him, okay, come up and show to the rest of the police what is going on. And then he did this. He made this, these 9 dots, and he took a marker and he did this. So he got 9 dots all together with just 1 line, a straight line, not good line. Okay, for me this is thinking outside the box, and always that we allow the kids to think outside the box, we are creating things, and they are creating things, so that's important. So second step is synthesize. Synthesize what? Synthesize key findings. When you are sharing with kids whatever, it's important at the end of the class or at the end of the moment that you are sharing, what is important that we thought about? What is the key thing that you pick up from this moment? And second, to identify valid patterns. Why? Because maybe valid patterns are useful for next step, for next problem, for next situation. Always that you identify valid patterns, you can apply them to completely new scenarios. And those of you who like Steve Jobs, I like very much Steve Jobs, and you can remember the speech or the lecture he did in Stanford University, and he talked about connecting the dots. And sometimes you don't know why something happened in your life, but after a while, then what happened to you is absolutely key for your future. So apply whatever you have thought that is important for you in the future in a completely new scenario is going to be key. So, second example, this happened something like 5 years ago also with two girls, two kids, and they were in a gym class with the gym teacher, and at the end of the class the gym teacher told them, just for fun in the last minutes, he told them, will you be able to line 12 of you in 6 lines of 4? And he was expecting, I mean, I'm sure this teacher was expecting something like this. 12 kids, 3 lines of 4, and then maybe 2 of them can think, okay, if we do this, we can have, instead of 3 lines, we can have 4 lines. And maybe if they are chess players or whatever, or they like maths, they can think that there are 2 diagonals. So, and then 6 lines of 4. But what he didn't expect, it was that in this class there were 2 kids that they were having 1 year before with me a similar problem with 8 coins to be aligned in a nice way. And these 2 guys talked to each other and questioned the teacher. Can we do this with just 8 people? And so the teacher was surprised, but he knew that something funny it was going to happen. So 2 of them, these two girls, one of them jumping piggyback on the other side, on the other, and asked for 6 more to do the same. So they did something like this to settle on the corners of a square, like 4 knights and 4 horses. And so this is the kind of parallelism that I am meaning this. It's very important that anything interesting that they have found out, they will remember in the future and they will apply to whatever. So, for me, this is the most important thing I have learned teaching kids. If we influence them to become flexible. I haven't been a flexible person in my life. I think that I started to become flexible 45, 50 years old. But I know that this is absolutely key. If you become flexible, then everything will be easier for you in the future. So, first step is to enjoy. Enjoy what? Yeah, fun. Fun is the first step to curiosity. And curiosity is the door who opens your mind to whatever. So curiosity is absolutely key. If you have a son or a pupil with curiosity, yes, he has everything, because he will try to find whatever in whatever place. So second, if they try different places of interest, perfect. But if not, you can help to open their mind, opening completely new worlds. And strong emotional links. If anything that you have found out that it's important, if you get this with a strong emotional link, they will last forever. They will remember their whole life. One more advice: never blame errors. I think that this is a mistake. And maybe you all agree, or most of you agree, that it is not good to blame errors. But what for me is more important than this is enhanced discoveries. I think that it is really, really, really key. When a kid discovers something by himself or by herself, then to tell, oh great, you have done a good job, or this is amazing, or I didn't expect, or whatever, but something that he's going to grab in her mind. And I have a nice story about this. A story from a former boss when I started in advertising 35 years ago. I had a boss that told me a story. Well, I was very... I love this man because he was my mentor in advertising. And this guy told me, what's the difference between a good boss and a great boss? He told me, a good boss is that one that uses any opportunity, that expects that any opportunity happens to congratulate and inform it. But a great boss is the one who creates that situation. Not only suspecting that something happens that he can say, oh, wonderful, good job, well done, etc. But creates the situation for this guy to do something special, something remarkable. And then he says, oh, you have done it very well. And then this person feels absolutely happy, absolutely, I mean, a special person, a special part of the team, start creating team links, start creating the teamwork, start reinforcing the self-confidence, and in the end, connecting with the company, connecting with the whole thing. So I think that is very, very important in hence discoveries. Well, an example about fun. We use this kind of game, we use this kind of game with the kids. We present a problem and then we tell them any question you ask and we answer yes, you score 2 points plus. Any question you ask and we answer no, you deduce 1 point. If you ask a question that there is no value, I mean is irrelevant, then no problem, but you stop asking questions. So next player, next kid. And we present this problem. We have a skyscraper and there is a man who lives in the 50th floor. And every time that he goes down on the lift, he goes straight to the ground floor, always. But if he's going up, it depends on the people on the lift. If he's alone, he goes only up to the 47th floor, and then the last three floors through the stairs, walking. But if there is someone else in the lift, then he will go directly to the 50th floor. And then we tell them, now stop asking. And the funny thing is that if they don't reach the solution, we don't mind, because, of course, we ask why. Because we add hints. We tell them, oh, I forgot to tell you. And rainy days, he always goes up directly. And no solution, and we say also, oh, we forgot to tell you also that on Thursdays, he also goes up directly because he plays hockey with a group of friends. So these two hints, in the end, you get that them find the solution. Okay, if no one knows or anyone don't reach the solution, we can ask afterwards. Okay, sharing. For me, sharing is something really, really important. Not only at my level, but their level. Sharing makes you to be open to completely new perspectives, new mind, and also to criticism. Of course, we will agree that negative or destructive criticism is not good, and sometimes it is painful for us. But once you open to criticism, you can avoid, don't listen to this crazy criticism, but be open and be will to listen constructive criticism. Why? Because it will allow you to re-challenge yourself once and another once and another one and another one. Okay, for example, this way of sharing for the kids, we present the same kind of problem with questions, etc., 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 and we tell them, a man arrives at a hotel and suddenly he realizes that he is bankrupt. Why? And what is important for me with this kind of problem is that they sharing their ideas, they build up on the ideas of the others, and they find the solution not only thinking by themselves, but also finding that something that a colleague has told to the group was so important that it was the key for them to go further. For example, in this case, if you see the result, like first step, was this real? Second step, was this with real money? Then third step, was this a game? And then fourth step, what game? And then in the end, they find that this is Monopoly. Okay, for me, sharing is something really important because always that you re-challenge yourself, that allows you to look for the truth and to keep looking for the truth instead of not just looking for fame money, which is, well, and the last thing is to come back to trust. And trusting at the end, why? Because always there is a chance. For me, as a chess player, since I was 13 years old, I have found that it doesn't matter of the position that you have, that you can always try to find something else. I mean, you can always try something that can turn around the situation. And why? Because borders of imagination are absolutely infinite. And one more advice is that once the expected way, I mean, once the normal way from going to A to Z, A, B, C, D, etc., is already done and no solution, you don't reach the solution, then you have only one chance, is to jump. And why? Because those who don't jump will never fly. And I think that flying is something important in life. Flying your mind, flying yourself, flying to reach things, etc. And my final example is from AlphaGo versus Lis et al. And this is regarding the situation that has no solution. And this was the fourth game. At that moment, AlphaGo was winning 3-0. So Lis et al. Was not in a nice psychological shape. And this situation, for those who know Go, you can imagine more or less, here's white space, there is white space here, some space here, and some space here. And black also has some space here, some space up left, up right. But there's a huge space on the middle that is surrounded by two barriers of the black. Well, most of the professionals, or all the professionals commenting this game at the time, were saying, if black is able to close this, that looks like easy to close this, then black is winning by a lot, or by such an amount of points that there is no way to turn around. And all the players, all the professional players, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And Lis et al. At this moment did display that nobody of the professionals was thinking in it. It was absolutely out of question to introduce this stone, this piece, this tile in the middle of the black stones. And then after this, all the professionals commenting, then they realized that maybe something interesting is there, maybe some, well, we can say, I'm as a weak Go player, can say desperate, but maybe Lis et al. Was planning everything in this, and the result of this game, it was that Lis et al., thanks to that move, won the game. But desperate times call for desperate measures, something that we have always to remind the kids. Never give up. So, summarizing, trust to start with, then synthesize, then enjoy, then share, and then finally to trust again. So, any questions?
The umbrella to push the
boot. So the man was too small and he didn't reach to the 50, he reached it only to the 47, but with umbrella he was able to reach the boot.
What do you do with children who find it frustrating?
As we really trust that there is no problem on not finding the answer immediately, we calm themselves. We tell them, don't worry. There is no problem in not finding the solution immediately. You can relax. You can think about. Take 1 week. No problem. Even if someone knows the solution, we can tell them, okay, we can wait. We are going to wait 1 week, all of us, and then so next week we can think about in the meantime, but relaxing. But the most important thing is if we trust that this is right. If we think that providing solution is very important, then you will never tell him, oh, relax. You will just rush him to find the solution. Just the contrary. Okay?
Okay.
More questions? So, prize giving, you are expecting medals, I know.
It's a wonderful one.
Okay, I want to tell you one last thing. This presentation has been made by my daughter. My daughter is designer. She's interiors and lighting designer, and she has designed these drawings of all of them. So I have to thank her, just in case she sees the presentation on the internet. So she is the responsible for this. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful.